The big story, of course, as you said, it was about Owando and what you call the regulatory mess right now on customs trade, while the SEC was sending security agents and an interim management team into Owando Nigeria PLC. Some staffers were protesting, carrying placards in Abuja, protesting the court decision order to reinstate Muniru Gwazo as the head of the commission. He was suspended in 2007. And that's still one big story there. But let's get a bit of a sense of where we are right now. How do we fix these situations we have on our hand right now? This is the second time, as you said, as we already know, that the Owando is taking the SEC and the market to court. It's happening second time in 2 years. The first time was when the shares of the company was placed on technical suspension in 2017 at the onset of this forensic investigation into the affairs of the company dating back into 2014. Now, the company is gone to court once again and has gotten an injunction from the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos asking SEC to stay away from Owando Nigeria PLC and all the agents and prevented the SEC from sending any of the forensic audit or directive to any other government agency to take any punitive actions against the oil trading company. This is one big story that we have on our hands as we speak. Let's get a bit of a sense of this. Let's talk to Johnson Chukwu, who is the CEO at Carry Asset Management, is joining us this morning via Skype to put some perspective into this developing drama around the SEC on one hand and Owando on the other hand. Johnson, good morning.
Good morning, Boston.
Thank you. It's good to have you. Thank you so much. It's a public holiday. We appreciate your time. But the market is literally on fire as we speak right now over the last few days and about a week. So what do you make of the entire, if you look at yesterday, how did you think the market will be looked at globally yesterday with the SEC staffers protesting, firing placards in Abuja, while at the same time the same agency is pursuing corporate governance issues in Owando when his own rooftop is on fire?
You know, interestingly, this week, this last few days is not going to be a great week for Nigerian capital market history. A couple of things are happening in the negative. Just like I pointed out, we had issues of intervention in Owando, and then you also have issues of the court judgment that reinstated the suspended DG of SEC, Muniru Gwazo. And then you added to the developments of yesterday, where Owando has gone to court to secure an injunction restraining SEC from taking further action or affecting the decisions reached at that, the recommendations reached, as well as the protest at the premises of SEC in Abuja yesterday, where workers are protesting and carrying placards and insisting that the reinstated the DG should not come to the office or resume work. So those are not good commentaries. They are not good narratives for the Nigerian capital market.
Yes, if we take it a little bit away, let's deal with the SEC as a regulatory agency itself. In terms of when you find staffers of the SEC protesting a court order, there was no indication anywhere that Gwazo was going to resume at the SEC headquarters yesterday, taking over and giving effect to the court order. What did you make of this protest? This is quite a bit unusual for workers of SEC protesting an issue that perhaps I'm not too sure if it has any direct link with them, because Muniru Gwazo was removed from office on issues bordering on allegations of financial impropriety by the Ministry of Finance and all of that, and all that had happened. Court has since cleared that there was no appeal yet that is in place. So how does this look to you, Johnson?
You know, Boston, for me, I felt it was beneath the status of employees of SEC to carry placards and protest that Gwazo should not resume. The appropriate thing, assuming the management of SEC, which was joined in the originating case, I mean the case by industrial that Gwazo took the industrial court, had any issues with that judgment, the appropriate thing to do was to go to an appeal court of a higher jurisdiction, that is an appeal court, because as you know, the National Industrial Court is of equal legal status as the High Court. So they could have gone to appeal court to appeal that judgment. That I'm not aware that has taken place, or Ministry of Finance should have gone to do that. But in the absence of an appeal, I do not think protest by staff members of such high respected institution is the appropriate way to go. That's my personal opinion. And again, if you recall in our discussion last week, I did say that I'm not even sure the Waziri I know we want to resume work as the DG of SEC. But the most important, he has been reinstated. He has cleared his name. He will get his benefits as up to date. And I believe he will want to formally resign from that position. I don't imagine him wanting to come back to sit on that desk. So the protest and the barricade of the office of the SEC was, for me, was not necessary. It was uncalled for, let's put it that way.
So how do we situate the SEC, which is on absence of a board, a formal board, and what have you, and in the Owando's developing drama? The court injunction yesterday by the oil company was the second against the SEC and against the stock exchange. The first was in 2017 when Owando went to court and says around October 2017 and says the SEC and stock exchange should not place the shares on technical suspension because of the forensic audit. Now the forensic audit has been concluded. The company is back in court and say, look, you cannot give effect to the letters of the sanctions you've meted out to us. So the judge says everybody should hold fire until Owando's suit is heard.
I wouldn't say it was completely unexpected because if you recall, the response from Owando, they said that they were not given the benefit of fair hearing, that the recommendations or the outcome of the forensic audit was not presented to them before it was made public and to allow them defend themselves. And my position is that that's quite strange. If I know Deloitte and Touch that carried out that audit, they would have engaged in some level of interaction with the management of Owando before they've made their final recommendations. But be that as it may, if Owando is standing on that position that they were not given fair hearing, that could be a basis for them to go to court and get an injunction restraining SEC from implementing the decisions. But of course, the substantive case will come up mid of June, and I hope the judge will expeditiously dispense with the case so that the company is not left to hang in limbo. But I can assure you both in that the next few days are not going to be good days for Owando, though they've secured the court injunction. They're even lucky the nature of their business does not easily entail a run on their operation. If they were a financial institution like a bank, or insurance company, or a pension fund administrator, you can be rest assured they would have had a massive run on their operation. But given the nature of their business, they may not see a run, but there's certainly going to be a run on their shares. So even the uncertainty associated with the court case will not necessarily address the challenge they have. So I pray that the court will expeditiously dispense with the case. But it takes us to the other aspects of regulatory oversight. One of the things you have to recognize that for a regulator to be able to back and bite, the regulator must be backed by the strong will of the executive arm of government. In the absence of that, the regulator cannot effectively discharge its functions. I hope that SEC, in whatever they do, they can be assured, they assure themselves of the backing of the executive. Unfortunately, you don't even have the Minister of Finance, you don't have what we call the Secretary of the Federal Government where they can run to. I think the only option they have to go to the Vice President or go to the President. But I expect that given the weight, political weight that Owando has, and their presence in the market, the size of their business, that they are not going to tuck their tail under their feet and just walk away. I mean, the management. So I'm expecting a legal contest. But I pray that it's quickly dispensed with so that we do not have an institution that will gradually bleed to death.
A final one for you. What's the future of the SEC in this entire scenario? The SEC is, like I said at the beginning of this conversation with you, its own a rooftop is leaking. At the same time, it's trying to do a mop-up job as a regulator and supervisor in the market. So where does this leave the SEC? If you look at the committee of SECs, of course, for a number of years, Nigeria had the chairmanship of AMAC, of the IOSCO, the International Organization for Securities Commission. So we were a very prominent member, and we've always been holding that position. So if they're looking at what is going on right now in Nigeria, what do you think they'll be asking themselves? So what's the future of Nigeria's SEC and its authority to stamp in the market against market operators, against anyone else who do business in the marketplace?
to secure the future of the SEC, we actually have to look at the overarching impact of this strength, an SEC that is weak or strong. Remember that SEC is the highest regulatory body in the capital market, and they regulate all aspects of capital market operations, right from the Nigerian Stock Exchange down to operators as Cowry. So if they do not have the wherewithal to implement and execute regulatory directives, then we are all in trouble. We're all in trouble. And I think we have to put the blame on the footsteps or the doorsteps of the executive arm of government. Both the record that for the past 4 years, SEC has not had a board. The government has not even nominated any board of directors, calculations of not getting approved by the Senate. And the absence of an oversight body is a major constraint to a regulatory organization like SEC. Because what they have done is to tie their hands to the back, and then they are trying to implement corporate governance standards in regulated entities when, unfortunately, they do not even have a corporate governance position of their own because of the failure of government to implement, to put in place a board of directors.
Johnson, thank you so much. I'll lay back and enjoy the rest of the holiday. Thank you very much. We appreciate getting you out of bed this early, dressed up, and talking to us via Skype on this developing drama. Thank you so much. Johnson Chukwudi, CEO at Cowry Asset Managers. When we come back, President Buhari has given the order to clear up the Apapa gridlock. Yes, but beyond that presidential order, where do we go with Nigeria's very nasty logistics industry? That's after the break.